Alright, we're back with episode 2 here for a short campaign, The Chronicles of Sasha, which is a spin-off of my last short one-shot called, well, it was just a white box hex crawl. Anyways, work has been pretty brutal to me, my day job, so I'm not as enthusiastic, but I was just very eager to see who this sudden female character was based on the magic card we drew. So, this is the card we drew. Yes, it's invisible. There it is. Using my top-notch production. Here's the card in better value. I basically just took this female character and this sudden powerful explosion or magical sphere of light and combined those into making her a potential magic user. So we have definitely run into a few colorful characters in this short campaign, and hopeful that she'll be a main character, at least moving forward. So let's begin with where we exactly are we? This will be on, looks like we're on 15D, which is right here. It's the ruins, and currently it's about midday, about 1 p.m. And our character, Sasha, is he passed out. So he's going to wake up perhaps a few hours later. So let's say it is going to be 3 p.m. and his wounds are going to be treated by this character that we had met. And so I think I'm going to let him heal. We'll see, short rest. I'm going to house rule it. Let's say 2d6. So I'm going to roll 2 dice. And like a goof, I forgot to use my little new dice tower in my last video. I was rolling on the table, dice fell off the table in some moments. So let's use this, shall we? So this is going to be his heal. And nice. 9 is perfect for now. That will be 10. So he's not completely healed, but it's better than nothing. So he's at 10. We'll just slide that over. Okay. So I'll say he healed about 10 HP. That works for me. And he wakes up. He's near the same area where he was during that battle of the Leech, but in a safe zone essentially. So maybe another room over, or within the vicinity of the main ruins. And actually, let's say he's upstairs. There's like on a rooftop of the ruins, and the female character is sitting there reading a book. Let's roll some dice and see who this is. Like, what was her reason for being here? She saved our character, Sasha, who does not have a last name. I saw a comment in my last video, Sasha Gray. It's not Sasha Gray. I checked his legal papers. It doesn't have a last name. So it's just Sasha for now. The character sheet here, my player's name is Lex Gray, but it's just old Sasha. Anyways, let's roll on the one-page mythic and see exactly what she was doing here. So with that, we will roll the 2d100. It will remove this dice here. And for the action, what is she doing here? So 64, I'll say her reason for being here is going to be 64 is information. That's good. I like that. And her descriptor, 82, rotten. Okay, so her reason for being here is she's seeking information, but it's not anything good. So I'm thinking that I want to say she's a halfling, and here's why. Not a dwarf. This is a halfling because this is the sister of Cohen. She was on her way to find Cohen. Remember, Cohen was the thief halfling. And she went to the original tavern where the prior one shot, or one shot happened, the backstory of it, and found out he went on this little adventure to pick up some fruits for a vendor, some magical bananas. And it did not go so well, or at least she doesn't know yet. But she ran into Sasha, and she probably picked up some information on from the tavern. Maybe some witnesses said, "Oh, I saw your brother go with these two gentlemen," and she has our description. So let's write this down because this is actually quite a bit. So the rotten basically leads to her brother being deceased. So she is the sister of Cohen, and she was looking. I'll put this little star here. This is very important stuff. Looking for him. So Sasha matches the description of what she was told. But she only sees one person. That's not good. She's having doubts. Maybe. She knows Sasha well, or she knows Cone well enough. We don't have a name for her yet, by the way. She knows Cone well enough that maybe he skipped town. Or he was, maybe she knew he would betray them or attempt to betray. So she's still in, the seeking information path in regards to trying to find her brother. Where did he run off, essentially? So let's write down that she is a halfling. So, yeah, she's going to be a halfling, and we just don't know her name yet. So Sasha wakes up. He's looking around. He's disoriented. He notices that he is on the top floor of these ruins, just one floor up. I don't think it's gonna be a very tall ruins. And he feels better. He's patched up a bit, and again, he sees her reading a book. She looks over, closes the book, stands up, and he recognizes that she's a halfling. No dots connected just yet. Just this is a halfling. She walks over to Sasha and kneels down. Sasha's kind of like in this bed made of hay or like leaves, just a soft, isn't soft, a cloth of sorts, a burlap or something. And she speaks, asks Sasha, "Are you feeling better?" And Sasha kind of does this with his face. He's like, "Yes, yeah, I'm feeling much better. What happened?" And she says, "Well, you had a run-in with one of those damn pesky leeches. They're notorious for hanging out in these ruins. Wasn't for me, you'd be dead right now. Probably in the stomach for all I care." And Sasha replies, "Yeah, I was definitely outnumbered." And she jokes saying there was only one of them. And he says, "Yeah, right." So then he asks her if she helped him. She says, "Yes, I had one spell left to save you from those leeches, from that leech." So he kind of tries to stand up, but he's not. He's just a little disoriented. He's not exactly in full health yet. He's halfway there, or he's more than halfway there. So he said, "Well, thank you. I appreciate appreciate helping me. Um, who are you exactly?" And she stands up. She turns her back. She walks back to her prior spot where she was sitting down. She sits down. She starts packing up her goods. She says, "Well, you may know someone that I know, and I'm looking for them." Let's write this down because, so again, brief convoy, conversation, and I'm not going to take notes on everything I say, so a lot of this will live and breathe in my mind, and eventually I'll forget about it. But again, like I mentioned in my last video, I'm only going to note the most significant facts. And this is a short campaign. I'm going to look into return to this, years later. So he he thinks for a moment and says, "You're a halfling." She kind of nods and she continues packing up her backpack. He then recalls that Cohen was a halfling. So he then says, "Did you know Cohen? A halfling named Cohen, a thief? Or rogue, I guess in this game standards." She says, "Yeah, he was my brother." And then Cohen kind of jumps back. Or, I'm sorry, Sasha jumps back. It's like, he never mentioned he had a brother, but then again, he didn't talk much about his personal life. She stands up, she puts her backpack on. She has like a staff or something. And she says, "I'm looking for him. I was on my way south and I ran into you here. You matched the description of some witnesses back at the tavern where you picked him up for your little adventure." So he says, "Yeah, he joined us. He was willing to help for a payment." And he kind of closes his eyes a bit. He's trying to remember what happened. His memory's not all there yet. He's like, he remembers that he died and blah blah blah, but he sacrificed himself. And in a way, he kind of did sacrifice himself. He starts to kind of like he kind of slouches a bit in disappointment. He's not sure what to say to her. Like, "Hey, your brother's dead. Anyways, let's go." Can't do that. So he's trying to think what to say. He says, "Look," he's trying to insist, "What's her name?" And we need a name. So you can use tables, oracles. Let's use the discovery meaning table. Not This isn't orthodox, but it may just work. So I'm gonna roll two dice. I'm gonna roll two dice here, and we'll pick up parts of these two words that we get results on. So 79. Let's see. Obstacle. And the second word will be 77. Quiet. Her name has to be strong, but not too loud. An obstacle. Well, we could call her. I will call her Kath. So her name, with two stars here, is Kath. Sister of Cohen. Short name like Cohen. Kath is a little inside joke from a certain Cool as Ice movie with, well, from Vanilla Ice, from the Cool as Ice 90s movie. So Kath is one of the character names that Vanilla Ice's character nicknames a love interest. Her name is Kathy, but Cat, or at least Kath is part of that. So Cat would be another alternative, but her name is Kath. So, okay, so, sorry, I had to step away for a moment. So Kath is preparing to leave, but she wants to know, where is Cohen? And again, Sasha doesn't know how to break the news. Not every day he goes around telling family members, "Hey, your sibling, he's DED dead." And so before he even utters a word, she her eyes widen and she walks briskly up to Sasha, grabs him by the coat and pulls him up. Well, again, there's a height difference, so maybe let's say she kneels down and just grabs him, pulls him closer, and says, "What have you done? Like, where's my brother?" And he says, he doesn't tell her at first that he tried to steal the gold and blah blah blah, what thieves do, but he says that he sacrificed himself for us. And she looks around and says, "There's only one of you. What did you do with him?" "Look." And he's like, "Look, Kath, he's dead, okay? I'm sorry. We were on our quest, we got to the Dark Lair Inn Resort Casino, and we were against the general manager, and um, we fought him. Unfortunately, two of my comrades died, and he was one of them. But he did a heroic act. Look, I even have some of the gold. And he reaches into his pocket, and the gold's gone. And she pulls it out. Says, "Yeah, this pouch here." And he tries to grab it. She jumps back and holds on to it. Says, "You know, this should cover his death just fine." And she pockets it. So she steals all of his gold in retaliation just for that. I think she knew that he was dead, but she wanted to confirm it, knowing that he's just there by himself. Or maybe she suspected that he stole the gold. So Sasha stole the gold and ran off, and she coincidentally found him. Or maybe she was tracking us. Again, some potentials. So let's write that down. That Kath, she found out Cohen's dead. DID or DED dead, like from Robin Hood Men Tights, and took all of Sasha's gold pieces. But he still has his weapons. She stands up, she turns and walks away, and Sasha stands up with whatever energy he has left and shouts, and he's holding his flail. Says, "Look, give that gold back." And she stops. She kind of scuffs it off and says, "Pathetic, I was expecting more." She continues walking. And then he takes one of the spears he has from earlier. He takes it and throws it in front of her. No roll required. It's just a narrative scene. It doesn't hit her, it just kind of stops in front of her. She stops for a moment. She turns around and says, "A fighter with a spear. That's ironic." And he says, "Look, I understand you're angry about your brother's death, but it was not my fault. He agreed to join us on our quest. It did not go too well, but what he did." So then he tells her about what he did. He had the other two magical bananas, and they were getting the final one. Before he died, or when he was dying, he tossed it into Sasha's pocket. And so, big plot hole, I think. Well, I don't know. They went back to the tavern, got their. Yeah, I think that was in the one shot at the end. They went back to the tavern. They met with the merchants. He gave them their reward money, and then Sasha left, going home. And on his way home, I think she was tailing him. So I think it makes the most sense that she's been tailing them ever since. She probably got lost a few times or lost track, but let's say that Kath was tailing Cohen. So he says, "Look, if you were looking to rob me, why did you help me in the first place? You could have just picked this off my dead body." And she says, "Well, that's not what I do. I do have a code." I'm trying to think of what she would say here. It's just like fleshing out her character a bit, not too deeply, but you know, trying to make her out to be independent, strong, on her own, but still caring for her brother. Not like a not doesn't really work in the gray area too. Well, maybe she does work in the gray. I don't think it's in her code of conduct or like her morals to let someone die who is outmatched, let's say. Maybe she's chaotic good or chaotic neutral. Again, it's hard to describe. I don't want to go too deep into her character with just a short campaign, but we could take a step back and say that he asked her, why didn't you just let me die? You take gold for yourself. And maybe she says that my brother wouldn't have done that, wouldn't have liked that. So he said he doesn't tell her about what her brother did before his death, almost stole it and fled. But he says, "Look, I need that gold pieces to make it back home. Why don't you just keep the cut and a little bit extra for yourself for helping me in the first place, and what would have gone to your brother and at the start, at the end of all this?" This will be a roll. So he's basically trying to convince her to keep a little for herself because she did save him, and the cut that would have gone into Cohen's hands. So I think this is charisma, to be honest. So let's go to, and 14 is a pretty darn good charisma. I'll roll my d20 here. We're in it for 14 or less. And 4. Okay, so I assumed that was going to work anyways. Okay, so uh, he convinces her to give back some of it. Not all of it. So, let's see. I don't recall exactly. I think it was 1,000 pieces per member. Gosh, I don't have the original sheet. But let's say she keeps 500 herself. She keeps 1,000 that was for Cohen. And maybe just gives us back. That would have been 2,150. And then minus that would have been, let's say we just keep 1,250. We get back 1,250. My math might be wrong there, but I'm just going to leave it at 1,250. So 1,250 gold pieces. So she gives him the pouch or gives him a pile of gold. And she's like, I'm keeping the bag. She turns around and leaves. So that's it. Kath leaves, and Cohen is there kind of stranded, but still has his gold pieces, his armor, weapons, and dignity. He also has the compass, don't forget that. So she's officially, she could have joined, but based on my conversation, didn't go well. Or it kind of got worse, but didn't go as planned. So let's jump to the next page here. So again, we are still in tile 15D. That conversation probably would have lasted, let's say, 4 p.m. Okay, so Kath leaves, and we can put her card in the back of the deck. I don't know if I have more of those cards, but if we do, if we run into that card again, I'm gonna to if I remember to, that might be her moment to re-enter the story somehow. But it has to make sense. It can't just be random. Like she just pops out of nowhere and says, "Hey, I'm here to help." So let's continue our little grid scroll. Okay, so after he packs up and leaves, he continues north. We're making our way to this town here that does not have a name yet, but this is his home. So let's roll dice to see if this is going to be same terrain. 1 through 4 is the same. Sorry, that was a 3 right there. 3 is the same, so this is forest. And let's see what happens contextually. Okay, obsessive search. So I think in tile, this is 14D, obsessive search. Let's put that down here as the magic card. So obsessive search. Looks like we see an old guy, potentially a wizard, concocting some kind of experiment, and he's in his workshop here. So let's roll some dice to see if we can pull from the discovery meeting table if that means anything to us. Action, what is going on with this picture here? 95. Strange. Okay, so let's get some more context here. Strange. And 14 is going to be the description, colorful. Huh. I'm thinking maybe there is like a tower and uh Sasha sees some lights coming out of the top. He sees some kind of smoke or magical aura up there. Maybe. I don't know. Not sure if that's too cartoonish. That could work. Obsessive search. There is a lighthouse, perhaps? That could be something. So let's say that he sees a structure in the distance. So maybe this card does not have to do with what the current or what's in the current tile, but perhaps what's in the distance. So he sees a lighthouse, basically. I'll just put this a light here, like that. That'll be in tile 13E. I'll put lighthouse. And he spots some kind of strange... Okay, so he just sees a lighthouse nearby, a mile away, and he sees some activity happening at the top of it. Is he curious? Perhaps. So that card is for that tile. Maybe there is someone... Oh, I have an idea. Okay. So Sasha is walking, and he sees an old guy with a bunch of different herbs. He's picking flowers and stuff off the ground. So he is currently with us nearby in this forest. But he's kind of walking around, picking flowers, herbs, and he's carrying a bunch of stuff. Like, he doesn't have, his hands are full. And he's dropping scrolls and stuff. He looks very, we can take from this card here, madness is mentioned in the description here. But he looks very frantic. And he's trying to pick stuff up. So we will go help him. This older guy, maybe he's a wizard, maybe not. But he looks like he's some kind of, could be a scholar, he could be a sage, he could be an alchemist. We'll figure that out if this character does go anywhere. So we help pick up his stuff. And let's put this in here. So, strange old man picking herbs. He's struggling. He's struggling to carry a bunch of stuff. Okay, so he's just kind of struggling to carry a bunch of stuff. Maybe he kind of drifted away from his cart that's on a trail nearby on a main route. And so we go help him out. We ask him, "Oh, excuse me, miss, do you need help?" And the old guy looks up and he has some kind of crazy goggles or glasses on, like Doc Brown. Looks up and he says, "Oh yes, please, yes, help, pick up these scrolls." So Sasha picks the scrolls up, and he has a bunch of these long, white, wrapped up scrolls with rope tied. He says, "Follow me. I'm close to my wagon." And then we walk to the wagon, and it's in the same tile. And he says, I was just doing some errands for the family or something." And we take him to the wagon. So, um, wagon. We help him put the stuff in, or put his stuff in. Here we go. And he thanks us for the help. He says, "Very much appreciated, young man. What is your name?" And Sasha says, "Sasha." And the old man's like, "Sasha Baron Cohen, the actor?" And Sasha says, No relation." He says, "Oh, done," was one of his autograph. So he says, "Well, look, I very much appreciate your help." And Sasha's insisting it wasn't no trouble. So he invites us to come over to the lighthouse, which isn't creepy at all. And he says, he notices Sasha is, whoops, is a little damaged, a little worn out. So he says, "Look, if you come back to our castle, which is right over there, or to his lighthouse, he'll give us a potion." So we go over to the White House, the lighthouse. Let's just Let's just go across here. We'll just cut at this angle. And at the front door, he says, "Let's write down that we are at the lighthouse." So we are in tile 13E. So lighthouse. And the time is probably going to be 6 p.m., so almost sunset. Lighthouse. And the old man walks in. He doesn't let us in. He says, "Please, wait out here. I'll be right back." He rushes in. He drops some stuff because he's very disorganized. And minutes later, he comes out and gives us a potion. He hands us, let's say, gives, let's say, 2 potions. He says, "Have these potions here." So let's put 2 potions in our inventory. Okay. We thank him. And he says, "Oh no, please, it's my pleasure. Thank you for helping me earlier." So He says, look, I have to go back inside, but please safe travels wherever you may be going to. And then he kind of shuts the door in a rush, and we are kind of standing there surprised. But we have 2 potions, so we're going to drink one of the potions, and it will heal us 2d6, just for the heck of it. So, let's get those 2 dice, and roll. 9 again. Perfect. Okay, so we are healed back to 15. There we go. Okay, so back to 15 out of 15. We're healed up. The old man leaves back in his lighthouse. I'd say if Sasha was not in a rush, but to get back, was not in a rush to get home, he probably would have, just general curiosity, probably would have stayed and see what this guy was doing, concocting, whatever he was doing. I'm hoping I can tie this into a future plot point, because I have an idea for this guy. Kind of. It's in the back of my noggin working itself out. So he shuts the bands. He slams the door closed. He says, and you can hear him kind of scuffling through his living room, his makeshift house that's a lighthouse. Maybe it's an abandoned lighthouse. So we have our potion. We're healed up. Sasha has a boost of confidence and a boost of energy. So now we're going to make our way north. So let's roll d6 and see if it's the same tile, same type of terrain. So let's say 5. It is not. So let's figure out what kind of tile it is. We are. Let's first draw a card here. It'll be 12E. And we'll draw a placed card. Hopefully it's a placed card or close to it. It's a gate. Okay, so that card I've definitely been drawn before and get more context of what kind of terrain though. Okay, it's a town and there's a gate. It's a courtyard to a gate. Interesting. Maybe we are hitting. So let's say it's a town. Like so. We're at a gate to a town. And this town is called, let's see, 12E. This town is called Scavers. All right, so let's say Scavers. All right. And so I think he's at the gate. He has his belongings, and he's looking at this very surprisingly tall gate. And that's it. That's where we'll close the episode off. Again, I'm kind of worn out, but I feel like this went pretty well. I'm hopeful that we can return to these 2 characters we ran into, both Kath and this old man in the lighthouse, which we did not get his name because I forgot to ask. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.